Hey, what up, everybody? Stevie Breach coming to you. Starting my day out by getting in the truck and just getting ready to roll. Almost forgot how pissed off I was and how much I really wanted to make this video, but yet I guess I just didn't have it in me last night. But last night, honestly, at 8 o'clock, I was fucking pissed. My buddy MC tweeted me a little bit of wrestling news, and I was able to call in last night to the Figure 4 weekly show with Brian Alvarez. I was the first caller. It's a free show today. I preach to you guys to go and subscribe to the show all the time. But tonight's a free show. Give it a free, a free trial. You can download it on iTunes, or you can just go to the website and you can check it out there. WrestlingObserver.com, Figure4Weekly.com, or search it, you'll find it, or just ask me for the link and I'll send it to you. But basically, like I said, I was the first caller, number one. It won't be hard to find. But Hulk Hogan, his contract is coming up with TNA on October 1st. The first thing that went through my mind was I bought this trip to go to Bound for Glory for the one reason, number one reason, was to meet Hulk Hogan. Go to a wrestling show was honestly third. TNA fan interaction was second. And the number one thing is being knocked off this list. You know what? Honestly, I don't want to get into it too much. But number two is probably hanging out with Miguel and Luke, hopefully. And my other buddies, Mario, that are going on this trip. To hang out with my friends down there is probably number two. And then fan interaction and the other thing. But Hulk Hogan's deal is coming up October 1st. My biggest problem is, Bound for Glory is, I believe, October 19th. 2 weeks after there's a chance that Hogan could be leaving. I think, honestly, by looking at the moves TNA has been doing, they're really trying to cut costs. And I think that Eric Bischoff might stick around, but I think they're going to look at the Hulk Hogan deal and say, you know what, Hulk, what have you really given us over the last 3 to 4 years that you've been there? You came in here making a whole lot of promises, saying that we had a good company and that, we were a smooth sail right up to the top. Basically, with Hogan coming in, with Bischoff coming in, they brought in Rob Van Dam, they brought in Mr. Anderson. They made a whole lot of promises right off the bat. Everybody remembers the Monday Night Wars. TNA put out the best show that they could do. And honestly, in my mind, the first show, you go back and you remember to it. WWE didn't even really put up that much of a fight. It wasn't like WWE stacked the card against them to say, we're going to make sure you watch our show. The first show happened to be the return of Bret Hart. Maybe you can make a statement of a claim that, WWE booked that show for that night, knowing John Cena wasn't going to be there, knowing that it's a moment that people have waited since, Survivor Series and the Screwjob to see Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart in the same ring at the same time. Maybe that's what everybody was going to flip on that show. But for me, honestly, I sat down and I watched TNA first that night because I knew what WWE was going to offer. I've been watching WWE for years. I wanted to see what TNA was going to bring to the table to be different. Everybody saw that, TNA tried their best and they just didn't have a full tank of air to put in that tire. No matter what they did, when that tire rolled down, more air came out and the tire eventually went flat. They moved off of Mondays, they went back to Thursdays. During this time, WB, like I said, they didn't put up a fight. They put up, Jack Swagger as their World Heavyweight Champion. It was the Royal Rumble Elimination Chamber push during this time, but they weren't really knocking it out of the park. They weren't putting the best shows out to make sure that they were killing TNA. It was almost like they were giving them a chance to stay there. But that was the first strike against Hulk Hogan and Eric Bischoff, that they were putting up all this money and they couldn't do it. Now, you look at it now, it's been even more longer. Hogan's given them maybe 2 matches, 3 tops. They did the one tag match on the Live Impact. He did the match with Sting. And I'm sure he's done another match somewhere along the way that I just can't remember, because nothing Hogan has done for TNA has been that big. I can't really remember anything. And it just seems like they're giving Hogan this money not to be there. So if TNA cuts Hogan, I'm fine with that, honestly. On the wrestling side, I'm just pissed that I'm heading to Bound for Glory and I'm not going to get a chance to meet my hero, the guy that was on my sheets, the guy that was on my curtains, the guy that was on the posters on my walls, the book covers on my books. It goes on and on. I will never be able to erase Hulk Hogan from my childhood inside. He is that big to me. Hogan can go out and rob a bank and blow up a building. and he'd still be the best wrestler in the world to me. But I just can't believe how dumb. That's the only word I can use, is how dumb TNA is. Bound for Glory is their WrestleMania. Bound for Glory is their biggest show of all time. And you're going to let somebody's contract like Hulk Hogan end 2 weeks beforehand? And I know that they can lowball him. I know that there's a good chance that they'll work out some sort of an offer. But to me, honestly, I think TNA is going into these negotiations and they're going to be playing hardball. Brooke Hogan, to me, honestly, was the writing on the wall to Hogan. He was like that sacrificial lamb that they showed to Hogan. Hulk Hogan, if he had any power at all, in my mind, I truly believe that he would have stuck up for Brooke and made sure that she got a job. One, she can't sing, and what she does sing, nobody wants to buy. She's not a singer. You know, she's not somebody in the wrestling community that, like, New Japan or WWE is going to buy up. She's not a hot free agent on the market. If she's not in TNA, she's not going to be in wrestling. I don't know anything about her modeling career as of late, and Brooke knows best, ended years ago. She has no money coming in. The football player on the Dallas Cowboys that she's marrying, I know that TNA likes to make it out like she's, you know, marrying some huge star on the Cowboys now that she broke up with Bully Ray. He doesn't make that much money. He's not that good. He's a professional football player, yes, but he's a guy that's not even going to be in the league all that long. He's a guy that's barely hanging on where he is. And that's not just because I'm saying that because I'm a Niner fan and he's a Cowboy and the Cowboys suck. It's a good job to have. He's going to make some good money while he's there. But I don't know what they're going to do for money down the road. It's not like she's going to be selling wrestling 8x10s on eBay. I don't really know anybody in the market to really pick up a signed Brooke Hogan 8x10. If she's standing there, I might get her to sign one. But even at that, I'm going to be looking like, well, does anybody else got a shorter line? Because I'm going to be jumping over that on that line. But I don't know. I mean, like, to me, honestly, there might come a day when big names from WWE might leave, you know, WrestleMania or WWE. We've seen it over time, years. Lots of guys contract ends. But there's no way in the world Vince McMahon is going to sign any contract with anybody that ends 2 weeks before WrestleMania. I mean, you got to put that on your calendar when you're signing somebody and you say, okay, we're going to sign you to a 4-year deal. I think Hogan actually signed a 2-year deal with another 2-year extension on top of it. I think that's honestly what he did do. But you know, I'm sure Hogan and everybody, you know, just sort of signed the piece of paper, you know, whatever it is. I think he did sign in October 4 years ago in 2009. They announced it, and then he held out until January so they could get the big reveal on Live Impact. But I'm sure Vince McMahon has so many people that work for him that, you know, he's got somebody, you know, when they're working out a contract, they put the date of the contract into there, and they find out what pay-per-view or what's going to be going on around that day, and if they have to, you know, hold out on signing the contract for, you know, a couple more days to make sure it rolls through a Sunday. There's been a few things that have come up along the years. I'm sure they'll never have another Jeff Jarrett situation. Jeff Jarrett holding out for big-time money because Vince was having him do the job to China at the pay-per-view for the Intercontinental title. And then there was also the Rob Van Dam situation where his contract ended a couple days before an Extreme Rules pay-per-view against him and Rob Van Dam. No, Rob Van Dam against Randy Orton, I apologize. And the stretcher match, but those sort of things with WWE don't come up a whole lot, you know. But for a contract to come up 2 weeks before Bound for Glory, that's just fucking stupid. I mean, like, are we just supposed to get down to 2 weeks and on one of the impacts, just Bully Ray beats the shit out of Hogan, and we just never see him again until Vince gives him a deal and he shows up on TV, on WWE, and we're supposed to act like, you know, like, that's it? I've been very critical of TNA, honestly, but yet I keep showing up on Thursdays, because that's what I think TNA is. Is it a great show? Sometimes, but overall, it's just an average wrestling show. But sometimes I sit down on Thursdays, and I really want to watch wrestling. WWE doesn't have any wrestling on Thursdays, so I watch it. And so I've been following these storylines throughout the way, and everything to me, honestly, should be coming down to, you know, Bound for Glory should be the final stand. TNA standing up to Ace and Eights and say, that's it, you're done, it's over. You know, we're gonna beat you, we're gonna take your title, and then we don't ever want to see you again. We saw the same thing with the Alliance and WWE, how it came to, you know, fruition, I believe, at the Survivor Series, and all those guys from WCW and ECW, they all popped back up, and they were normal guys again in WWE, and everybody was all forgiven, but WWE won the war. Ace and Eights has held TNA hostage for over a year. And there's been a few times here and there that Team TNA has got the win over Ace and Eights. Like Chris Sabin won the title, and then he lost the title back and things like that. But I mean, like, they need to kill those guys. Bound for Glory needs to be the end of this storyline, and Hogan needs to be a part of putting that flag inside the middle of that ring and being like, we won this, it's over. Even if that's it, and we never see Hogan again. Like, maybe that's the last stand that he does for them. But I mean, like, he can't even do that because his contract ends 2 weeks before Bound for Glory. I apologize for running on and rambling over and over and over again, but I got to get going. This is just fucking stupid. I mean, honestly, that's the only thing you can think of. Is it's just fucking dumb. Take me out of the situation and really wanted to meet Hogan at Bound for Glory and giving them $800 or whatever it was for the travel package. But I mean, like, just think about it. Would Vince McMahon ever let a contract end 2 weeks before WrestleMania? Would he ever give somebody that bargaining power, like a Randy Orton or a Daniel Bryan or I was about to say Triple H, but I guess that won't happen. But would he ever be like, oh, you've built me all the way up until 2 weeks before WrestleMania, you've booked the match, you've put it on TV, but I don't have a contract, so I'm not going out there unless you give me, millions and millions of dollars. Do you think Vince McMahon would ever give anybody that bargaining power? And basically, Hulk Hogan has given himself that bargaining power because Dixie honestly needs him for that show. Peace out, everybody. Have fun.